Hello, my friends. Dorothy here. We're going to talk about the full moon in the sign of Taurus. It's on November 15th. Now, I am also going to include in this full moon in Taurus, first off, it's about grounding and feeling safe and secure. I'm also going to talk about how we're going to throw in some unexpected events and occurrences and being open to shifts and changes because this full moon is conjunct Uranus. And also on November 15th, Saturn is stationary at 12 degrees of Pisces. Now, it's been at 12 degrees of Pisces, takes about a month for it to, because it's slowing down to stop and then moving forward. And so when Saturn is stationary on those days, especially a week or so on either side, we can feel like there is an absolute intense feel around what Saturn in Pisces is. So let's start with that. The Saturn in Pisces, stationary on this day of the full moon in Taurus, represents this period of a heightened sense of insecurity sometimes because that Saturn in Pisces has stirred up a lot of fear recently. And we've just had a very tumultuous year, but this is an opportunity now for us to start to really see what the truth is. And this is an individual process for each and every one of us. We don't have to look at what's going on in the world right now because I want you to take these forecasts that I give you and use it in something that's personal, not doing mundane astrology here. That means looking at what the world is all about. I'll talk about it in a general sense, but I want you to take what I say and bring it and process it and bring it into your own life. And so I'm going to share my screen with you now. I need to see my face. There we are. I had a lot of options up. All right, here we go. And this is what it looks like. It's just for my area, my time zone. So you just make sure and you adjust for whatever time zone you're in. And that's why I don't talk about the house placements of this, because it's not about that. It's not even about your zodiac sign. You can use this information in your way, in the way that is important for you and what's going on in your life. Okay. So with that, let me just continue a little bit more about what I want to talk about with that Saturn stationary. And so, happening at the full moon brings us complete and total illumination. We're very much aware of what it is that we love, what we value. I'll get into that more in just a minute. With this Saturn stationary and ready to move direct, it'll be direct immediately. I mean, that is, just before the full moon, Saturn goes stationary direct, but it's going to take a few weeks for it to get going. So it's going to take a little while for us to feel like we can start to move away from the things that we've been fearful about, sort of decompress from the stressors that we've all been experiencing for quite some time. And I have to say, it's not everybody. I have clients that are saying they know what's going on. They're all US clients, USA clients, and they're like, that is not impacting me. It is not bothering me. It doesn't matter. So that I know there are some of us that can just keep that out of the immediate environment. Okay. So I'm recording this before the election because I just need to. I don't, we like to get these out a little bit early, like everybody. And so I don't know about the results of that. I'll be working the polls tomorrow. But I want you to understand with this Saturn stationary in Pisces, um, any of the deeper emotions, the Pisces, the feelings that has just been just a mix and all stirred up with Saturn moving forward, we could feel a lot better about what is happening in our lives now. So you get a chance to look at that stability, that's Saturn, and what steps are best for you now at this point in time, okay, to move forward. Now, I know that's a little vague, but not overly vague because this is exactly what Saturn in Pisces stationary represents. We are unsure of a lot of things for a long time. A lot of fear has been going on. Saturn's been retrograde since the end of June. And there sure has been a gazillion changes since then in the world. It's just everything is moving so quickly, and it's just like a big mishmash of everything. Nothing's there's not a lot of clearness at this point. However, this Saturn in Pisces going direct will help us to stabilize what where we're at right now. And this is when we get to November 15th, and gives us more of a solid foundation so we can align with, what our hopes and dreams are, not get in alignment with what we're afraid of, because that has been happening a fair amount these days, right? Because it really has, and it's tough. And I guess I get that. That's how that is at times. So that's the Saturn, 12 degrees of Pisces. Let me tell you, if you have anything at 11, 12, 13 degrees in your chart, then this Saturn is making a connection to whatever that is. And if you need some personal insight, I am a professional astrologer, 30 years now. So if you want some insight on that, don't forget to reach out. Now, let's get to this Taurus full moon. It's at the 24th degree, which is tight. I mean, way into the sign, right? So this is very earthy and very grounded. So the full moon to begin with is about realization and recognition, right? Because both luminaries are up. We have 24 hours of either the sun or the moon showing light, reflecting light. And that means we get to see everything. Everything's on the table, whatever we've been working on, always present. So when we have this full moon, it is an opportunity for us to slow down, to take stock, to sit down and say, what is it that I value? What do I love? What do I value? What is comforting to me? What's comforting to me? What's comforting to my family? Because this Taurus moon, I mean, the moon in Taurus every month is making a conjunction to Uranus. But since Uranus has been in Taurus, however, this is the first this year, the full moon in Taurus. We had one last year and the year before, but the full moon in Taurus isn't always conjunct Uranus. And even though the moon does conjunct Uranus once a month, not at a full moon, not exact, like this is only 1 degree off. This is really super tight. And this just gives us, first off, we're looking for stability, bringing back into your life the things that help you to feel stable and grounded. It can be through, maybe you're somebody who likes to stock lots of food. Food is Taurus. This is something that can come to your awareness. It's like, oh, maybe I've done too much. Maybe I need to clean this out. Maybe I haven't done enough. Personal circumstances will answer that for you. If that is something that is important to you, if that's something that you are nervous about, that Saturn and Pisces could have made us fearful that we don't have enough. Remember during the pandemic when people freaked out and bought everything? It feels like, it doesn't have to feel that panicky, but it can feel like that for some people. Not you, doesn't have to be you, but it can be. Maybe a neighbor, maybe a friend. You can help calm them down if you feel that that is a situation that's going on there. And this is something that we really do need to look at, because a lot of things that have been going on in our country for the last year have been just really upending a lot of different things and making people feel very insecure. So that's one thing, food. Another thing is your finances. And so, I mean, are you spending too much money? Are you not spending enough? Are you investing in a way that feels good for your future? Do you need to do some more work so you can earn more and feel more secure, have more coming in than going out? You want to look at your finances. I'm not saying any one of those things is happening to everybody, but we all have our own expression and our own view of how wealthy we are or are not. Poverty consciousness can be a real strong thing, even if you have millions. And then you could have somebody that doesn't even earn 20,000 a year and they feel very wealthy. So I'm not talking about that type of focus. I'm just want you to look at your focus and how you feel financially safe or fit. And if you aren't, what steps can you take to do that? These steps to either feel comforted with our food, with our finances, and then a third, third is always more, but another one is, just the comfort things that we have around us. These help us feel good. It's like the simple pleasures in life as well. It's like bring these things together. And that is what this full moon is here to show us. It's here to show us where we don't have these things and how you have to do the work and how we can stop and process and look at what is important and what steps you need to take. All right. We have to stop and take the time to do this. All right. So, what is meaningful? Get rid of those distractions and start working towards bringing into your life the things that feel more secure and stable, whatever that is for you. You know, for a long time in my own personal life, I did not have housing stability. I had 3 different addresses in 13 months just because landlords were doing what they were doing during the pandemic, 2021. I ended up in 3 different places, and now I've been in one place here where I'm at now for almost 3 years. That security is so important to me. It feels so good. Everything else comes into place when something that is important to me is in place. So you find that for yourself. That's what this full moon in Taurus represents. And when we have this, we just feel better no matter what's going on in the world. So figure out what that stability is, what that one thing that you can anchor and land bring everything back to. And again, like for me, for example, it's just the home stability was so important for me. My home situation, my chart shows me that. I could see it. I won't go into that, but you know, I want you to be open for that. And the way I want you to be open for that is because we have Uranus conjunct this full moon, you know, and when Uranus does make a conjunction to this full moon, it can spark a lot of new energy, right? And it wants us to be open. It wants us to be open for new possibilities and new anything. It just wants us to get out of our comfort zone. So here I am saying we need to do things that bring us back to ourself, to our self-confidence, to feeling safe, to feeling solid so everything else can fall into place. I know I've been saying that, but we often don't realize, and this Taurus full moon can show this to us, we often don't realize how much we have outgrown certain structures or routines in our lives that we need to change because they are not keeping us where we need to be, right? So Uranus with this full moon can bring that disruption in. I know I just said I want stability. I want things to stay the same. I want to feel safe and secure, loved, and have all the good things around me. Yes, we do. But there can be this unexpected excitement and change. It can be a disruption. That feels like a negative word to some people, but there can be this disruption. But if we do have that, if that happens for you, then that can be because you have too many outdated habits or beliefs, and the universe, if you will, is asking you to create a little space. You don't have to get rid of what's stable, but create a little space for something fresh, something new, and something that is more in alignment with current trends or current needs. I think that is something that is really important and very different and unique about this full moon um, in Taurus, conjunct Uranus, as well as Saturn, because Saturn is about the structure as well. And it just gives us an opportunity to hold on to growth, to hold on to stability, to hold on to the things that are important to us, but also to give us an opportunity for some surprises or to new opportunities so we can really feel a shift and a change in our lives. And I just feel that this is going to be so important with that. Yeah. So, what do you want to do with this? Right? The full moon, the theory, we all know the theory behind the full moon. A lot of people is just about releasing and letting go. Indeed. But the first piece of the full moon, I don't think I need to share anymore. The first piece of the full moon is that we get to see everything that we've accomplished. We get to see everything that is in front of us around the qualities I just have listed, the Taurus qualities. And again, join my newsletter. There's no charge for it. You get an email from me twice a month. That's it. The only thing you have to do automated is just confirm that you want to do it. And the written forecast, I go deeper into it, talking about the lunar gestation cycle. It's too much for this today because I'm already talking about the full moon conjunct Uranus, and Saturn stationary. That's more than enough. So go ahead, please, and get on the newsletter email list. I would love you to be there. So thank you for that. Now, that full moon, once again, it shows us everything we need to see, and it shows us what it isn't working anymore or what we've completed. You know, this lunar cycle phase, I'll touch on it, started in May of 2023, this new moon cycle that the current full moon is connected to. That was 18 months ago. So you can look back and see what you initiated back then. I've got it written out. Go read that. But in the meantime, look at what you have, look at what's in front of you. And then with this full moon, it's like, how can I need to clear things. It's just like cleaning your refrigerator. You know, you got to open that fridge and you got to bend down. I don't have it side by side. I have to bend down just to see the top shelf and what's way in the back. You got to bring it forward. And it's like, oh, what is that? What got shoved way back there? And you need to just clean it out, get rid of what you don't need to get rid of. That's where your full moon rituals come in, by the way. This is just an example. Those full moon rituals are about releasing and letting go. So just like cleaning out the fridge and getting rid of the stuff that's outdated, way in the back that you can't see, still think you need, you don't, get rid of it. Write out those rituals and produce, create. What you're doing is creating space for that Uranus component, which isn't always part of a full moon. It isn't always part of a full moon. So we get this wonderful opportunity. So take advantage, use the energy, bring in something different and unique. I know that's not necessarily full moon stuff, but I don't care. When we have the full moon conjunct Uranus, it's only 1 degree apart. This is a great opportunity to introduce something new into your life. And if you've been too stuck, too immovable in your life, and this Uranus comes in with this full moon, it can cause disruptions. And that's where disruptions happen because you're not open for new things to happen. You're not open to invite new things in. You do that, you're using some of the energy. Yeah, you are. Try working on that. Always so much more. I will leave it at this time frame for you. Read the forecast. Hey, guys, Patreon. I go through this week to week. There's a lot more on tier 3 and or tier 4, and you get all of the weekly forecasts, and I go deeper into all of those other configurations that are happening right now too. So I would love you to join me there. Here, Patreon gets this first. Thank you, guys. Blessings. And you guys who get to see this on YouTube or wherever else you're seeing it, please, it really helps. If you want to support me, I love that. Or just at the very least, comment, share this to your groups. You know the routine. Don't forget to subscribe as well. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Blessings and namaste.